The community itself is really big, and it's been growing exponentially in the past couple of years. So it has 590 million total users, 260 million active monthly users, and 45% of LinkedIn article readers are in the upper level positions, managers, and all that type of stuff in businesses. 41% of millionaires use LinkedIn, and the average CEO has 930 connections. More than 90% of recruiters use LinkedIn regularly. So what this means is we have a community that is just higher quality. You know, it's not like your Twitter, your Instagram, where the focus isn't silly memes and stuff like that. This is a platform where you should be marketing yourself. This is the place where you want to take your career to the next level. So we'll get started here. So what that means is that that's still a very large community. This is a big pond, and right now, us all being students, we're small fish. We're not very connected. So there's two ways that we can go about this, and what I see it as is you can either start eating, or you can narrow your pond. Starting eating is to grow to be a bigger fish, and that's kind of what everybody's goal would be. And that'd be putting out, consistent content, getting featured by the bigger fish, the CEOs. Maybe if you go to a networking event and you take a picture, and then they post it on there, and then you're like, oh, okay. Then everybody starts seeing your face and everything. So that's what I mean by start eating, as in just go broad, get as much out there as you possibly can. Get used to LinkedIn. Just start regular use. Know what's up and coming. Know what the updates do. All that. And if you're completely involved, then you'll be on your way to be that bigger fish. And then the other option, well, not really an option, I suppose. It's you do these simultaneously, but narrowing your pond. Go for those low-hanging fruits. And what that is to go local. Go to your community. Just around here, UD. Start connecting with students. That's a great connection. You already have that. Hey, we both go to UD kind of a thing. UD alumni. A lot of my connections that I've gotten and potential jobs for myself is always as a UD alumni, and they love helping out us undergrads. Relatives and friends. That's kind of obvious, but don't forget to do those, because that builds this narrowing your pond and starting with your relatives and your friends. That's your foundation for what's to come, and then you do this simultaneously. So, and once you start getting the hang of doing both of these, the results are going to be awesome. So, with that, the profile, and this is kind of where it all starts. There's the bio and the headline. This is the most important stuff. The bio and the headline, the job description, skills, endorsements, and recommendations. So this is what mine looks like. Obviously, it might not be the best, but I think it's pretty good. I've looked at quite a few, and what I've learned is you only get to see these 3 lines right here, and if you go any further when you're typing out your bio, it goes down here, and a person has to click see more. And us being that smaller fish, we don't get to really get that attention span from those higher ranking people, the recruiters or anything of that sort. So you really want to make these 3 lines right here hammer home. And along with that is the headline. The headline, don't make that too long, because a lot of times if it goes too long, it'll show up as ... when you're being searched up, and then again, you lose the interest. So with that, there's the job descriptions. So whenever you list down your experience, you're able to put in a job description. And that is where you prove and show what it is that you did and how you did it and why you did it better than anybody else. So for there, always put in any tangible numbers, like I grew this from 50 to 500 followers or something, being like a social media manager or something of the sort. Always hammer those home. Get a nice paragraph there. So when you finally got the interest here in the headline down to the bio, then they're going to see who the heck you are and what you did. Then you have some actual info for them to see, and it literally acts as like a resume. Yes.
So let's say hypothetically you have, I don't know, 3 jobs here on campus.
Uh-huh.
How would you put that in your job description?
So each experience that you put down, so you're able to add an experience, and it'll be below this. And each experience you have a box when you add that experience to type in your job description and keep it very brief. I've seen people do bullet points. You can attach media if you made a flyer. If you made flyers for your job and you're like a marketing person. Upload all those, and because then it's very visual. You want to get that visual pow factor. So that is humongous. Does that answer your question?
Definitely.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you.
And then next is skills, and the skills, these get very vague, and I see a lot of people get vague with these. It's like leadership, which is a good one. All these types of vague skills. But if you want to hone in on some, what can I sell myself with? I mean, everybody says, I'm a leader, So, but if you want an actual skill that you can sell yourself, start looking through your job descriptions. What did you write there? And that can be your skill. Because you're able to add the skills below your job experience, and people look at that, and you can get endorsed by your connections. So these skills are very important. But and a lot of people have trouble adding, like, what should I put in my skills? I don't even know what my skills are. Again, go back to that job description where you just wrote that little blurb about what you did and how you did it, and how you did it better. So with that, endorsements for skills, this is very important. Go endorse like your friends and tell them to endorse you. I mean, just based on your experiences with them, they can vouch for you. And a lot of times, if you endorse somebody and say you don't even know them that well, they might endorse you back. So definitely do that. It builds a kind of a build together kind of a community, and that's definitely something to get in the habit of. Lastly, recommendations. This shows up near the bottom of your profile if you scroll all the way down. But these are really important, and these can, they act just like any recommendation letter, except in a nice condensed format right on your Print LinkedIn profile. And actually, Haley, our president, was so kind to give me one through my experience as being the external outreach chair. So that was really awesome. And definitely, when you do that, you can also, maybe exchange one with someone, or with a coworker. Say, hey, this coworker did really well, and then you ask them, hey, can you write me one back? That kind of a thing. Ask supervisors, anything where you've had a good relationship with them, and get those recommendations, because those look awesome. All right, now for the nitty-gritties, the casual networking invite. So let's actually start getting an invite going, and this is what we will be doing together right now. So everybody get their search filters up, so it starts getting go to the search bar, and you can play around with the filters, and this is the very important part. So I'd recommend for the top things to put in your filters are the location. So this is just a casual networking invite, because there's 2 types of invites that how I see it. There's a casual networking invite and the job seeking invite. And today we'll all be doing a casual networking invite. So with that, with your filter bars open, you're able to go and select location. Go within UD. Just type in Dayton and select that, because what we're going to do here is we want to get somebody that's close by so we can actually meet them in person and develop an actual relationship. Another one is if they go to UD, you can select UD, go to Dayton in the education part, and you can really see the power of LinkedIn's search function, because you can start narrowing it in. So here, actually, I'll go to mine and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So you go to the search, and then up here at the top, you start seeing, all these connections. So you can say, this is another thing, is the second connection. So you start seeing what of your friends, your connections, who do they know? That's the second connection. That's the power of LinkedIn. So that's very important, because then you can say, hey man, like I know you know this person, could you give me an introduction? And that's just humongous. So I'll go here to all filters. So you look at here, location, I'm going to type in Dayton, Ohio, and then schools, University of Dayton. Boom. And then what I did previously is I was looking for a sales engineering job, and I didn't necessarily want to contact a recruiter yet. I wanted to understand more about sales engineering. So what I did when I was starting out this past summer is I would put those two filters in, and I would go to this top search bar, and for the keyword, I would put in sales engineer. Just simple as that. What is it that you want to learn about? Do you want to be involved in the marketing community or the advertising industry? Just throw in advertising right there at the top, and just watch what the filters do for you. So pretty much with those two things, I won't really put a keyword in there, but you guys can if you're interested in something specific. But I'll also put the second because I don't want my first connections in there. I want new people. And you'll see, look at that, 2,806 results. So just within the Dayton area of UD alumni and current students, there is 2,806 people that I know through in my network. So that's the second connection. And that's very specific of a filter there. And that's awesome. So you go through any of these, the people that you see on yours, anything I type in, again, if you're interested in the advertising industry or anything like that, or construction, just type that in the keyword with these filters on, and choose a person to connect with. And that, when you're done doing that, because you guys all have to be doing this right now, come write their name next to your name up here. So I'll give you guys like 5-10 minutes to do that. So now that we got that squared away, so we all have our people that we chose, and with that, we're going to be doing the personalized invite, and this is so important because, like we were just talking about, if you're about to connect with somebody that you don't know or you just met, or even if you kind of know, but you really need to establish that footing in that relationship, the personalized invite, this is your chance to do that, and this is what I do, and like I said, there's no formula to what works and what doesn't, and you could say there's some for what doesn't, but there's no formula for what works. And how I always do, start off really just high energy, friendly, exclamation point. So hi, whoever, and then explain who you are and why you're connecting. So who you are, I like to use something like my title. I like the student factor because people love helping out students. So sometimes I'll say, I'm a mechanical engineering student at University of Dayton, and that's my who you are part. Or I'm the external outreach chair of the Entrepreneurship Club at the University of Dayton. So that kind of thing to give you, just to understand who you are, because I'm Josh, but they don't know who that is, so we need to explain that. And the next is why you're connecting. So don't just say like, hi, I'm a mechanical engineering student here, I would like to connect with you, and then that's it. That's pretty much the same as just clicking connect. So why are you connecting? So like a lot of times what we just did is we narrowed our results to Dayton. So I am a local resident, or I am in the area in Dayton. So you build that connection, and what you're doing, and what I sometimes say, and what, like I said with the sales engineer thing is, I said I am looking to become a sales engineer in my career path, and I'm connecting with the sales engineers in the automotive industry or something like that. And that's the why, and you really want to get that down because that gives you a reason for connecting. And a lot of times that could also be, say you just met them and, hey, we just met at this networking event and we talked about this, and I would like to connect with you, that kind of thing. And then the last part is probably the most important because this is what separates a connection number from an actual connection. And it's the ask. And the ask should always contain something where you are going to meet in person. Would you like to grab lunch? Would you like to grab coffee? And then if they respond, you want to set that actual date and time. And that is so important because I am definitely against just connection hoarding, I like to call it, or just connection collecting. And your connections, say you have like 500 connections, those don't mean anything if you're not actually connected with them. And there's a lot of those, you'll get a lot of those invites from random people that you just don't even know. And you look at them, they got the 500 plus in their connections, and they're just connection hoarding. It's just like, anything, Instagram followers, Facebook, is you don't actually have a connection with those people. But for LinkedIn, this is crucial because these are the people who can be your co-founders. These are the people that can be investors or a recruiter that's going to get you a job. So this is so important to connect with these people and actually meet with them in person so you guys can actually begin to build a relationship. And then the next is the job seeking invite. We won't go through this one, but you'll see that it's the whole process is the exact same. It's, search with filters. What my only tip for to change up the filters is, first of all, the location, put it in the area that you want to work. You want to work in Seattle, put Seattle. And also, you don't put, all right, I want to be a marketing intern, so don't search marketing intern, obviously. Search hiring managers, HR manager, just anything in those keywords to get you there. So even CEOs, in smaller companies, they'll have a lot more say and a lot more to do with the hiring process. So get those bigger names up in there for those. Again, that's going to really filter down your results to those people that really matter for what you're trying to do. So then you'd select the person, go through the personalized invite, and again, high energy, friendly, exclamation point, explain who you are. In this case, you might want to say what kind of student you are. So say you want to get an accounting job, you say I'm an accounting student. Why you're connecting is I'm attracted to this type of position, and it's the position that you're going after for, it's the industry that they're in. So then they'll be like, okay, so they're actually going out of their way to come and talk to me, send me this message, and they're saying they're attracted to it. And this is the most important part of the job seeking invite, is to sell yourself. And something that I have been doing is, because I am a mechanical engineering student and an entrepreneurship minor. So what I say is, and I have been positioning myself as the link between business and engineering. That's my thing, and you can do that any way that you want, but just a little half sentence of selling yourself will go a long ways, because then they'll be like, okay, so this guy's not just aimlessly looking for a job. They have a reason as to why they believe they're qualified. And then again, the last one is the ask, and in this case, you can use, would you be able to grab a coffee sometime? That would probably be better than what I put here. But say that you can ask them just straight up, because you can either ask them at this coffee meet or this lunch meet, whatever you set up, or you can just ask them right here, are there any summer, fall, full-time opportunities at blank business, whatever that business is that they are in, and that could use my skill set. So again, you're offering yourself to them by saying, could use my skill set. That's a very important part, because you don't want to just say, hey, give me a job. You want to be offering them something. You just displayed the skills that you have, the credibility through who you are, and then you say, what can I do for you? Could you use my skill set? Okay, so now moving on from invites, we'll go to the last thing I'll talk about, and is posting. This kind of goes along with, at the very beginning, how I said start eating. This is the consistency that will get you to that bigger fish. Lots of people like to call it content, and pushing out content. And a lot of people want to get involved with it because that will legitimize you in the LinkedIn community. You're not just here, selling to people or like MLM marketing or anything like that. You're here for a purpose, and you're here to provide value and to build together. So what I would say for this is, provide value through your experience. What this means is talk about the stuff that you do. Don't just talk about stuff that you have no idea. If I start going on there and start telling everybody how to do something with the stock market, then I would get no traction whatsoever, because that'd be a complete fraud. I wouldn't know anything at all about the stock market and how that works and how you can, do the best there. So what I'd say there to go along with that is be authentic and honest. So if you're a crafty person, start talking about crafty things. How can that relate to business? Can we start a crafting business? Can we make it into a marketing? Maybe you specialize in physical displays or something like that. And so be honest with yourself. Be honest what you can actually talk about, because there's a lot of people out there that will start pushing out stuff that they really don't know what the heck they're talking about, and it really shows. Again, there's no formula to this. There's no success key to posting. It's And a lot of people are looking for that, and that's kind of, you know, people will say, all right, yeah, whatever, vague advice, blah, 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 just tell me exactly what to do. And the thing is I like, nobody really can, because, again, it goes back to your personal experience. It's what you can authentically talk about through your own personal experiences that will have the best impact, because you can actually get up there and talk from your heart. You know, you're not trying to copy down some formula. And again, so trial and error. This is what is for anything that you're trying to improve at. You know, just see what works. Put a post out there. It doesn't really matter. And then you see, okay, this one got more traction and this one didn't. So then you just analyze that, and then you just go back at it again. So just trial and error. Keep pushing it out. And if you're having a tough time with thinking again, what do I even post about? Because this that becomes an issue too. Because now you don't know what you're even comfortable posting about. So analyze your week. You know, analyze what you do every day, and you can even go back to your job descriptions and see where did you excel. You know, what were those skills that I pulled out from my job description? Maybe there's something there that I can, you know, start talking about regularly and develop a passion for. And a great way to start to segue into posting, and because that's kind of a daunting task. You know, you're really putting a piece of you out there, and you could easily be rejected, and that hurts. So what you could do is start by commenting on other people's posts, and make it your own like little mini post. So there's something out there that really struck you, and you feel like, you know, oh, yeah, I have something to say about that, or I agree with that. Say that. Just go in there and comment and put it there, and then that can kind of build you up to finally put out a post, and then start regularly posting or whatever. But comment first. Like it's a community builder, so it's a great addition. Definitely recommend it, no matter how far along you are in the LinkedIn process. And then along with that is, you know, when you're going and you're starting posting, and you'll be getting some comments to your own posts. My recommendation is you always respond to those comments any way that you can. Always like those comments. Make sure people feel very comfortable commenting on your posts. You know, get them to have a community feel, and then that would be very good. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys. So thank you very much. And what I would say is everybody in this left column should all be connected, and you guys can take a picture or whatever, so you can like do it later. But everybody in this left column, we all know each other here. We're all in the same room. So just connect together. And if you have any questions, I can take those now. And if not, we'll see. Yes, Haley.
What are your opinions on like people, like random invitations from people?
So what I do is I just decline them. So there's no room for me, because then when you accept it, you start getting all their BS in your feed. You know, like whatever, you don't even know the person. And you know, I even got a guy who sent me a personal invite, and it said like, because I had my own like landscaping thing in high school, and I have that on my LinkedIn. And he said he's from San Francisco, and says, hey, like I help landscaping businesses scale up and grow. Would love to connect with you. But he was from San Francisco, never met the guy. Said, you know what, like, is this really going to add to my value of a network? I'm not going to be able to reach out to this guy if I need help, or if I want to co-found a business. I'm not going to San Francisco, so I decline it. And that's my thing there. But there's a lot of people who just accept it anyways. So what's that?
So when it's a network like that, though, normally if it's like I want to connect with you specifically because whether you're an entrepreneurship student or you have this experience, I would connect them, because even though later on in life you may not be moving to San Francisco or opening up a business there.
Exactly, yeah.
They could have business starting advice that you need for something, or business development advice that you need. That could
Yes, no, definitely.
I know it sounds good, but like,
No,
like
exactly.
on that one specifically, I would have accepted.
Yeah, no, so exactly. So anything where they give you a personalized invite, always read through it, and then you'll start seeing people that give you personalized invites, how that makes them stand out in your own invitations. So then you start seeing, okay, well, if I send a personalized invite, that makes me stand out to the person that I'm sending that to. And you would be surprised how few people send those. And that's really the easiest way to stand out here on LinkedIn. So
If you're sending them to students, like would you have to do that, or would you like just like?
I would say if you know them, like they're your friends,
Yeah.
then I would. But you know, if it's somebody even you just met in class, or like a like a club, just like, hey, like,
Yeah.
I know you for like we met in this class, or we're part of this club together, would love to connect, or, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, if it's not somebody where like, you know, you already see on a regular basis, and then
Yeah.
obviously you don't say like, hey, let's go get coffee, like that'd be kind of
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
But so yeah, no, in that case, I'd still do it. It's good practice. I know it can feel a bit weird at
Yeah.
first, but it's just great practice. And again, what I like to call it is assertive marketing, you know, or, assertive networking. So what you're doing is you're finally spreading your wings out into this community that's like just such high quality members of it. So, any more questions? All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it.
Next.